Let's talk about something different, an up-and-coming multimedia artist that I think has the potential to make a big impact. F.G.S.
I'm growing across
Flannery Silva, stage name F.G.S, was recommended to me by a friend, and she has been doing some really intriguing things with music and visual art, even with just 2 solo tracks and music videos under her belt. Her initial roots in music were with the noise duo Odwalla 1221, formerly known as Odwalla 88, which she formed with Chloe Murata after meeting and quickly bonding in art school. Primarily active during the mid-2010s, the music made by the 2 girls really reflected their bond, at times sounding and feeling like 2 halves of a friendship necklace. They complement each other exceptionally well. In less metaphorical terms, this was experimental music that one could certainly describe as performance art, where the 2 friends would do spoken word over offbeat samples, industrial sounds, and things of that nature. Personally, it's not something that I would really seek out for my own consumption, but it's compelling, provocative, and so on. Comments on their performances will range from "iconic moment in alt history" and "this is amazing" to "pretty sure this is some sort of demonic witch war chant" or "this belongs in the bin." But hey, that's art. It is with these demonstrations by Odwalla that you start to see a running theme in F.G.S.'s work. Symbolism in the abstract, but in a way that's more intuitive than archaic. She often makes references as a way to encourage the listener to go somewhere with her artistically, entering a dreamlike liminal space of colliding references and time periods. ArtNews.com writer Taya Ballard reflected it succinctly. Phrases come across as a mood board or collage. Within Odwalla 1221's sparse, electronic-based arrangements, language itself becomes an instrument. The art made by Flannery is also a feast for the eyes, not just your ears. Merely going on F.G.S.'s website reveals a strong visual conviction. The site seems to be very personal, yet also full of a meta-conceptual framework and playful irony, all with an undeniably feminine lens. And that's one of the things that I love about F.G.S, that unapologetic femininity that critics so often disassociate with quote-unquote serious art. Media has long been men's interests and the male gaze deciding what is good and interesting art, and it's refreshing to see someone proudly embrace the feminine and allow that to shine through in her music. One idea that I always find myself going back to is that sort of spectrum of lowbrow versus highbrow art, and what makes any kind of difference between the two. It's fascinating to me that with any song, movie, or any medium of art, no matter how much you personally like or dislike it, there will always be some kind of subconscious perspective about how you should categorize that like or dislike. Baby One More Time by Britney Spears is a great song. But, oh wait, it's just cheesy fluff that should not be taken seriously? Okay. My favorite track by Bjork is Cocoon from Vespertine, and okay, that's cool as hell that I like that. Alright, awesome. This is so stupid. My point is that I think now more than ever before, these kinds of labels are losing whatever validity they once had. I've been seeing more artists proudly take inspiration from all walks of life, regardless of the social currency that those things might have. For me personally, I'm at a point in my life where the artist I'm most interested in hearing from is the person that wants to talk about the Ingmar Bergman film that they just watched, but right after they finish this episode of 90 Day Fiancé or something. Give me the album that's rooted in a love for James Joyce, Pokemon the first movie, and LMFAO. I don't know. And while I'm going off on this tangent, let me get back to the point and say that I think women and the feminine perspective in general were shoved into these boxes more than just about anyone, and that's why I gave my example of Britney versus Bjork. But as time has gone on, we have trailblazers that are doing anything and everything, showcasing a diversity of human experience and culture in the process. What box would you put women like FKA Twigs, Billie Eilish, Charli XCX, and Rosalia in? These are ladies who are killing it in different corners of the quote-unquote pop world with their own relevant perspectives on womanhood. They are not only commercially successful, but critically loved, and they are being taken seriously while clearly having fun. That was my long-winded prelude to actually talking about the music of F.G.S, which I think is very good, and all of you should check it out. For any fans of the indie jazz pop artist Chase Segley, you'll be happy to hear that he co-wrote and co-produced the music in close collaboration with Flannery. Everything I said in that rant about varied influences and low art, high art comes across beautifully in F.G.S's first single, Passions. It's a charming, lilting tune kissed by the vibes of a soothing coffee shop in the early 2000s. Think if Norah Jones was more like Lana Del Rey and Adrienne Lenker from Big Thief, and then that person loved Luann from King of the Hill. The music video features photography and heavy inspiration from a guy named Lucky Cole, who takes pictures of beautiful, naked women in the Florida Everglades, with his Instagram bio fittingly being glamorous photographs in natural settings. The song and video are like a gentle fairy tale with an enduring sense of cryptic wonder. It has a sound like a bright, clear morning, almost so cutesy and perfect that you can tell that there's something not quite right, and then you hear lyrics like, "Passions of a country girl in the valley of humiliation." It's as if a girl that used to be in a Brooklyn noise band made her own version of Over the Garden Wall. It's nice and reassuring in a way, but there's also that question of what's around the corner? What kind of John Waters Twilight Zone thing is gonna happen soon, because I'm not totally at ease.
Passions of a country.
The latest single, I'm Growing a Cross Around My Neck, is a dreamy yet visceral song which dabbles with body horror, purity, and religion. As always with F.G.S, the visuals are significant, this time with what seems like nods to A24's Pearl, or maybe some 70s Italian horror like Dario Argento's Suspiria. This track is slower and more contemplative than the last, with every note dripping of ethereal mystique and haunting introspection, with lines like, "I would sooner destroy my manhood than betray your heart," revealing that familiar poetic tendency. The way it's written makes it easy to let the lyrics wash over you, their meanings lying in your own reactions to them with whatever you conjure up in your mind.
Big bad wolf would jail me.
One thing that both of these singles share that has to be mentioned is spoken word, harkening back to Flannery's roots with Odwalla. It's within these moments that I think F.G.S seems the most comfortable. With this being what I think is her first venture into pop music, it's good that she's using bits and pieces of what she already knows and then adding them to this new creative direction. This is an artist that I think is captivating. From what I've seen of her so far, this multimedia journey and the ambitions in pop music, I can't wait to see what's next. There's a lot of things that I find admirable about her, whether it be how specific her whole aesthetic is, the different kind of take on poetry that most people are gonna get listening to music, and so on. Both of the videos are around 1,000 views right now, so stream her stuff. Here's her Instagram. Let me know what you think. I'm really curious. Hey, thank you for watching that video. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at RenshawHS. You can support me via Patreon, my merch, Twitch, etc. And thank you again. I'll see you soon.